State of Florida against Joseph Baird. You've got several motions. Make sure your microphone is on. You're going to ask Mr. Baird, and if not, you can turn it off. All right, you are Joseph Baird?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may have seats.
I'll
tell you, there were 3 chapters on it, they call it.
And it's not an issue for what we're litigating today, but there may be pertinent things on there at another point.
Well, let me just tell you briefly. It starts with a police officer driving to a place where Mr. Baird is already located. His car is there. Then there's a period of time where they do roadside. And then the next chapter starts with a transport to the Vero Beach Police Department. The next chapter starts at the Sally Port area of that place and then goes into an intoxilizer room. And that whole, he's already in the room when it starts, when that part starts. And then it shows him leaving the room at the end of that part of it, the intoxilizer room.
Okay, that's not an issue.
Y'all are saying, I tend to agree with the state that if there are innocuous kind of actions, and part of it is the defendant not following instructions, that ought to be admissible. But I also see how it could be prejudicial in some of these things. So I'm going to have to go back and look at it with that eye. Do either one of you all have any other case law other than the standard HGN case law that talks about what you need to present it? I think it depends on if the state can show some evidence of impairment already. Because obviously, if one asked you what you were doing after this hearing and you said you were going to go get some lunch and have a beer, that is not necessarily evidence that you are impaired right now. That's your point, I guess.
Yes, sir.
But if the state can show the jury that he was otherwise impaired at the time the statement was made, the intent to continue drinking while having his car available is, I think, further evidence of an impaired thought process. In other words, a desire to get further impaired, if you're already impaired, is in itself evidence of impaired thought process.
And did you come into contact with Mr. Baird in that evening?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you know what time approximately you came into contact with him?
It's approximately 10:25 p.m.
And what kind of vehicle was he driving?
It was a 2000 Jeep Cherokee.
Can you describe to the court how the defendant navigated that turn?
As he turned right onto 21st Street, I'm sure you're familiar with that. You have a yield lane, if you will. As you come into it, you merge in. And as he came into that corner, he was accelerating into the corner and drifted to his left, where his right, the driver's front and rear tire crossed over the white line as he accelerated onto 21st Street.
When you stopped the vehicle, or I should say the vehicle stopped, what did you do in response?
I exited my vehicle and then approached and made contact with the driver.
What did the defendant in this case do when he stopped his vehicle?
He immediately got out and started to approach me.
And when he began to approach you, did you notice anything?
Yes, sir.
What did you notice?
He appeared to be unsteady on his feet. And as I was speaking with him, I was like, "Sir, you need to get back into your vehicle." And when he was responding to me, I immediately smelled the odor of an alcoholic beverage coming from his breath.
You didn't notice anything wrong about the way he parked, did you?
Well, you asked me if he was perfectly in a parking place, and absolutely not, no.
Okay, but you didn't think that the way he parked was anything wrong with that, right? Okay. And of course, you didn't have any. You don't have a video camera in your car.
That's right.
So we don't get to be afforded the opportunity to see all this driving pattern, correct?
No, sir.
But let me just go back to one more thing before I sit down and write that. At that point, between when he turned on 21st Avenue, other than where he made the white right turn, you never saw him weave within his lane, did you? You never saw him go into the other lane or change lanes radically, did you?
No, sir.
In fact, you never changed lanes at all.
No, sir.
And you would have had a very good view of that because you were a half to one car length behind him, correct?
Yes, sir.
So he gives you your driver's license, and with that information, and then you had some other brief conversation with him. With that information, you go back to your vehicle, correct?
I called for another unit as I walked back to my vehicle.
You called for another unit on your handheld radio?
Yes, sir.
And that's the same kind of radio you have on today, just attached to your,
yes, sir.
Your vest there? And did you tell the other radio why they were coming out?
I called my sergeant that was was on duty and advised him that I had a possible DUI and I needed another unit.
Okay, and you asked him, you told him it was Joe Baird and asked him what the significance of that was?
No, sir, not on the radio.
Okay, did your sergeant tell you that it was Joe Baird?
No, sir, I called him and asked him who he was.
Okay, well, what significance would that have to make the arrest?
Absolutely none in my mind.
Okay. So what was the point of asking him if you knew who Joe Baird was?
His name rang a bell in my head, and I was curious who he was when I called my sergeant to verify who he was, because I had no idea.